Welcome to another episode of Against the Insanity. We've got Ricky, Sam, and myself today. Nick is taking a little bit of a fap hiatus or something like that. He said he'd be back at some point while we record episode 7 of the show here. What's going on, guys? He's going to hate me for that one.
Not much. Yeah, Nick, same here. Nick is preoccupied, got some mattress loving going on. Mm-hmm. I heard the fire department in Palmyra showed up at his house, helped him out of his mattress a few times last night.
Again?
Yeah. So he should be, in better spirits.
Look at the inside scoop. I know people that work at the fire department, so we'll have to find out what the fuck's going on. So an interesting week. I figured I'd lead in with this story, but this comes to us courtesy of CNN that Biden is deemed fit to successfully execute the duties of the president after his first physical in the office. So there is something that I wanted to touch on from this article. It said the doctor characterized that damaged his spine is moderate to severe, but he said it was not severe enough to warrant any specific treatment. He wrote it would help account for some of Biden's recent stiffness and clumsy gait, and an extremely detailed neurologic exam was reassuring, O'Connor wrote, and showed no evidence of a stroke, multiple sclerosis, or Parkinson's. But did they check the guy for his fucking dementia?
Dude, I doubt it. Not. There's no way they could have.
I was going to say, the reason I ask is because, I sent the video out to you guys, and then we're going to play it here for everybody. Mm-hmm. The fact that they're interviewing him, and he says he can't wait to celebrate his 58th birthday party.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't even know how old he is.
What the fuck is what is going on? I just want to know. But honestly, here, you make of this what you will, but I'm going to go ahead and play it.
Right.
I stand by what the jury has concluded. The jury system works, and we have to provide for it.
Mr. President, what is the state of your health, sir? What is the state of your health after this exam today?
Good. They're going to release all the detail. I feel great. Nothing's changed. We're in good shape. And so, I'm looking forward to celebrating my 58th birthday.
I mean,
yeah.
Nobody makes a big deal about that. As soon as I heard that video, my ears stood up, and I'm like, he's not 58 years old, motherfucker. No. I think he's turned 79 actually yesterday.
Say he's in his late
78 or 79. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my cognitive test came back, with flying colors. Oh, by the way, I'm 20 years younger.
Flying dementia colors.
That's a hell of a doctor.
Dude, I need that doctor to make you 20 years younger. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I don't believe a fucking thing this media fucking says, because it's just you've got all these people. Oh yeah, he's great, but what about the my butt's been wiped incident? You know what I mean? And just the weird shit that he's up on stage and he just looks like he's physically gone.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't get it. Or that video where he's doing the town hall and he's holding himself like fucking.
Yeah, he looks like he's riding fucking the reins of a horse or something.
It looks like Cornholio with his fucking hands up. Yeah. Like, what are you doing, dude?
Those memes were fucking hilarious. I am Cornholio.
Well, he's standing there too, and you could tell he's staring into space. You know what I mean? He wasn't.
Yeah, the whole look on his face. He's zoning out.
Motherfucker needs to join Space Force then.
Yeah, he does.
Right, he's probably too stupid fucking for that shit.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Fucking idiot.
So I also saw too that he was possibly going to face charges on the whole Kyle Rittenhouse thing, and
that's the kind of where I wanted to go after this, because obviously the verdict, we were all sitting here on Discord when the verdict dropped about all 5 counts not guilty. In the Kyle Rittenhouse case. I know you were initially a naysayer. I mean, you went liberal on me for a second, but I forgive you, Ricky.
I mean, I wasn't saying that I think he was going to be convicted. I was just saying, the first shooting, I could see that going either way.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Overall, I mean, I'm very pleased with what happened. I'm surprised that he was not guilty on all charges, just given the political climate that we're in now and just everything going on with guns and, how they're trying to paint, basically if you use your gun in any capacity to defend yourself, you're automatically guilty. So yes, I'm very pleased and happy with what happened in this case, that he was found not guilty on all charges. I think this needs to send a message to these people that want to riot and burn shit and, destroy businesses and all this type of shit.
People have a right.
Yeah, you have the right to defend yourself. Yeah. Especially in this case where those 3 people were going after him. The first guy, made death threats to him earlier in the evening, saying how, the first chance is, I get with you alone, I'm going to kill you and shit. And then, at that gas station there, he's chasing him. Kyle looked back a few times to see if he was still there. He continued chasing Kyle, got close enough where he grabbed his rifle, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And, who knows what else was said at that point when he was close enough to grab his rifle. But yeah, Kyle was in the right to shoot him. The other 2, people that were shot, in my opinion, 100% justified. We talked about that before. I'm not going to get into it all over again, but I'm happy with what transpired from the trial there and how it went down. And like I said, I think this needs to be a real eye opener for people out there that are trying to make this political. And, there's people, saying that, oh, he's racist and this is, a racial issue. I don't understand that, because Kyle's white and he shot 3 other white people. He didn't shot anybody that was anything else. So how this is a race thing, I don't understand, really. And I understand that this happened during a, they want to call it a peaceful protest, but you and I both know that wasn't the case.
mostly peaceful.
Right. And, there was a lot of Black Lives Matter people there that night. But again, Kyle didn't shoot anyone that was black. It wasn't about, oh, I'm going to go here and I'm going to shoot some black people because I don't, agree with Black Lives Matter. That wasn't the case here. There was 3 people that were threatening his life and he shot them.
Now, Rosenbaum was the first guy he shot, right?
Correct.
Rosenbaum. Yes. Now, did you know, I don't know if you heard that, but this also came out that he tried to kill himself twice. He was suicidal really? And shit. Yeah, that he was committed to a mental institution to the day he was out. Yeah. He broke out into the streets. Mm-hmm. And then, you can hear in that first video too, I saw the videos on TikTok. He's like, shoot me, motherfucker, shoot me. Did he want to die at some point? It kind of just makes me wonder now, the dude was a convicted fucking child rapist. I mean, right. And he died trying to touch an unwilling minor again, of course, as Tucker Carlson said. I can't take credit for that. It was the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen on news media ever. God. But and now in the wake of all this, now you're starting to see CNN and these people try to correct the record and be like, well, he didn't cross state lines with a gun. He had family that lived because of lawsuits. Well, and lawsuits. Now you're going to see these fucking lawsuits come out. Mm-hmm. And I believe that a lot of these media agencies are going to fucking get sued into oblivion.
I also think too, with this case, I mean, we go back to the whole, mainstream media, while they're covering the coverage of the trial, they're being very opinionated one way or the other about what they think should happen during the trial. But they're not just covering the trial and letting it be. And that's what needs to happen. Just cover the fucking trial.
Yeah, facts aren't feelings.
Facts are not feelings. Just cover the trial and shut the fuck up. Because when you start saying shit like, oh, he crossed state lines, he was doing all this, illegal shit, and then you watch the trial and everything that the mainstream media is telling you is fucking bullshit when it comes to actually watching the trial.
Well, case in point, while we're on the topic of fucking CNN, you've got fucking CNN's lawyer, Jeffrey Toobin, saying if there was an award for the biggest idiot or blah, blah, or getting arrested for being the biggest idiot crossing state lines and stuff, basically lying. Mm-hmm. And not only that, but you've got an analyst on CNN, this law guy. And if you followed his story, this motherfucker got caught jerking off on a Zoom call in front of his colleagues.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to give Kyle fucking Rittenhouse advice on not to be an idiot?
Right.
Dude, you need to just buy a mirror and talk to the mirror for a fucking good 30 minutes because, I mean, you got some fucking problems.
Yeah, he was on a web conference, Go to Skiing.
Go to ski.
Go to beat.
Go to beating.
Oh my God. And I mean, like, these are the people that are giving you law advice on fucking some of these news shows. You know what I mean? Like, dude, look in the fucking mirror, man. You probably shouldn't even be fucking still practicing law after something so stupid.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, but like I said, dude, like after the trial, concluded, there was people that were still outside of the courthouse there, voicing their opinions and orchestrating protests on the results of the trial. Like my question is like, what do you think your protest is going to change when this trial went on for 3 weeks or more?
15 days.
Yeah, and you had a jury. You know what I mean? Look at the evidence. Make a decision based off the evidence that was provided during the case. Like it's already set in stone. Like this is what happened. This is what the jury said. This is the ruling. He is not guilty. Your protest isn't going to change a damn thing, in my opinion.
It's not going to change my mind.
Right. And you got people saying, oh, those 3 people that he killed were heroes and all this bullshit. Heroes?
No.
Like you said, the first guy there, he was in a mental hospital. He had issues to begin with. And the second person, well, not the second person, but the third person that was shot that had a pistol, he shouldn't have had a gun to begin with. He wasn't legal to even have a gun. And he had one during that, riot. I'm just going to call it a riot because that's what it was. And as far as the guy with the skateboard, like he beats his girlfriend, all the time. And then she was up there like saying, oh, defending him and all this shit. I'm like, my question for her is like, are you serious? Like,
well, here you go. Here's a rundown of these, these heroes. Joseph D. Rosenbaum, convicted felon, sex offender, level 3 offender, failure to maintain register status. Anthony Huber, assault and battery, domestic abuse, false imprisonment, illegal weapon. And then you've got Gage P. whatever the fuck his last name is, felony burglary, probation violation, illegal weapon. Every single fucking one of these
fucking heroes. Everything you just said to me, it just tells me they're heroes.
Yeah.
Pay attention, people.
3 musketeers.
Right.
Open your fucking eyes.
I couldn't think of 3 people that,
3 better quality people to represent the community.
Right. Like those are the people that I want to be friends with. Yeah.
People that think that, people like that are heroes,
People need to wake up.
Yes, you are mentally ill. And when you say that, you're also, and then you're also telling me the quality of person that you are too.
Yeah.
For you to support trash like that.
Right.
You're a part of that problem too.
Say, there hasn't been any riots there that I know of. I mean, there were like some walking protests I heard in LA, and I heard something happened in Oregon, Portland, of course, the shithole. Like somebody broke a window or something like that. But other than that, like most people, I think at this point are fed up with this shit. Right. And to be found not guilty by 12 juries of its peers shows that like people are just fucking done.
Unanimous 12 people.
And you brought this up, Ricky. Most of the women on that jury were all women.
Well, yeah, most of the jury were all women.
Seven of them.
7 women and 5 men.
They don't want their fucking communities being burned down and shit like that. They don't want their kids seeing this stuff.
And that's what people need to realize. These people that are doing these riots, again, that's what I'm going to call it because that's how you're behaving. People are tired of their, cities and their communities being burnt to the fucking ground. They're tired of their stores being completely destroyed. They're tired of the fires. They're tired of the looting. And finally, we have justice that was served. Yeah. You have these people that said enough is enough. He is innocent, based off the evidence that was given. Again, self-defense 100% of the way. Stop acting like assholes. If you want to be violent and you want to try to attack somebody when they're holding a rifle, get fucked.
I watched over the summer of all these riots and stuff. I don't know if you guys have seen this video, but I watched a guy try to defend his store with like a 2x4 or something like that. I don't know. It may not have been a 2x4 at this point. It's just been a while, but the mob basically attacked him out in front of his store and left him like his body was all mangled and folded up like a pretzel, and he was like bleeding out of his fucking head. And I mean, like, this is the shit that was happening all fucking summer, these mostly fucking peaceful protests. And you know what, like, I gotta be honest, it's like when we talked about this initially, like, I am just physically done. When this fucking happened and Kyle Rittenhouse did what he did, I was to the point where I'm like, I just don't care. Like, because when these people need to be taught a fucking lesson.
Yeah.
Right.
And you can't just go do this shit.
I was saying, you know, people that are doing this, they got to knock it off, because this isn't making anything better. You are making things worse.
Yeah.
Right. Well, the problem here too is, like, the police absolutely did nothing during this. So what order is going to be brought to this situation? You know what I mean? The people that are there that are being attacked, you know, shit being thrown at them, skateboards being used as weapons, people that have illegal firearms on them, you know, again, like, if you act like that, what do you expect is going to happen?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, are you that stupid? And another argument that pisses me off too is, there's people that are saying, like, oh, you know, Kyle had, you know, an unfair advantage. He had an AR-15, and these other people used a skateboard and a pistol. It's like, are you that fucking stupid? The point of the firearm, no matter what firearm it is, it can be a revolver, or whatever. I don't give a fuck what gun it is. The point of having it is when shit like this happens and you need to defend your life to live. It doesn't matter what gun you have. Whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you have the most skill and ability to defend yourself with, that's what you should be taking with, you know, on your person all times. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't care what it is.
Yeah. And then going back to what you were saying about him having an unfair advantage. Don't forget, he was outnumbered 3-1.
Right.
Well, he was outnumbered by a lot more than that. If you look at some of those videos, like, if all those people would have fucking, you know, had he not shot someone, those people wouldn't have scattered like rats, and there was a lot more of them. And
that's true. Funny. I mean, that's a good point. And that's nothing that was ever really brought up during the trial, I don't think, anyway. But yeah, these are the 3 people that were shot. But there was a mob people that were chasing him.
Chasing him.
Right. And as soon as he started, you know, pointing the gun and, you know, just pointing the gun alone, like, people started to scatter.
Yeah.
Then when you heard first shot go off, people started to scatter even more. You know what I mean? So don't tell me that bullshit that, oh, he had an unfair advantage. That's the point of having a firearm.
Motherfucker surrounded by a mob of people.
Right. It's equipping yourself with the tool that you need to get the job done. Like, I'm sorry, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And it's funny you bringing up the skateboard too. So I watched somebody on TikTok, like, you know, they posted the video and they're like, oh, it's just a skateboard. And they had a watermelon sitting there and they smashed it with the fucking skateboard. And then they hit it one time and split the fucking thing open. And that could be your fucking skull in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just a skateboard. It's a fucking weapon.
It is a weapon.
Dude, and again, people are so fucking stupid. But think about airlines, dude. You can't even go on an airline anymore, and you can't even request silverware. You can't even have, like, a spork, you know, on an airline anymore because it was deemed a weapon. A spork was deemed a weapon, and you mean to tell me that a skateboard couldn't be? You know what I mean? Like, these people are fucking lost.
Yeah.
And, you know, what, kind of moving on, while all this shit was going on this week, another trial is set to begin. And this comes actually from New York fucking Times, another fucking rag. But jury selection actually was set to begin on Tuesday in the federal sex trafficking case, following a flurry of motions to begin the scope of proceedings into bring the scope of proceedings into focus. For those of you that don't know or haven't followed the story, Ghislaine Maxwell is 59, is the daughter of a British media mogul and once a fixture in New York's social scene. She will be tried on 6 counts, including transporting minors to engage in criminal sexual activity. She has steadfast maintained her innocence, and her lawyers have sought to undermine the credibility of her accusers and questions motives of prosecutors' efforts, as they have indicated that they would continue at trial. You know, it's kind of we all have been kind of distracted by the whole Kyle Rittenhouse thing, in good reason, because I mean, a lot was at stake there, especially the right to defend yourself in these extreme circumstances. However, like this is going to be pretty interesting too, and I really hope that this gets televised, because the shit that may come out in this trial and the people who were involved with Epstein and stuff like that, we've all looked at the flight logs. You can take what you want out of there, but there are a lot of people's names who came up in there: actors, heads of media companies, heads of video game companies, as I was discussing with you guys yesterday. This is some crazy shit.
Yeah.
And I've been on this beat for quite a while about the whole Epstein thing, and we all know, he killed himself.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Wink. Wink.
He sure did.
It's crazy.
No
One of the things that I read a long time ago about Ghislaine Maxwell, how like people are like, well, how is she transporting like these people to his island and stuff like that? Well, Ghislaine Maxwell at one point held a sub license, like a license to operate a fucking submarine and shit. Why the fuck would you need a submarine license? Yeah, dude, this is all shit that I've been reading, over the years and stuff like that. And I don't know, dude, she is definitely involved in a major way. And like you said, transporting these minors and stuff like that. And they act like, it's not a big deal, but apparently it is, because there's like hundreds of people that have talked about this.
I could definitely see like high profile people / like minors getting on that island, were brought there with that submarine. I could absolutely see that being the case. Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, waiting better to move on, to
move unseen
and to be unseen.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
A submarine license.
Yeah. I'm just like, what the fuck do you need a submarine license for? I'll have to find the research, because this has been compiled by a lot of people over, the last year and a half that we've been following this shit. It's been pretty interesting. But yeah, I think that you probably want to be paying attention to this trial too, because you may hear a lot of names come up, because they fought real hard to not release, to have that stuff not come out during this trial, and they lost every step of the way. So this is going to be a key focus, I think, over the next couple weeks for sure. And speaking of actors and actresses, it just seems like more and more we keep hearing about this fucking story. But Russ Crew used Alec Baldwin's prop gun for plinking. Ricky, I know you found this article, so I wanted to know if you kind of wanted to kick this off.
Yep. So I found that the revolver that Alec Baldwin used, that was used to shoot, Helena Hutchins. So that revolver was used earlier that morning for plinking out back. They were shooting like, cans and, just, shit like that for fun, for funsies. Yeah. The same pistol used that morning was used for, plinking. And then later on was used when Helena was shot. So, and I did see that the assistant director of the set is coming out and saying like, oh yeah, I really should have checked that revolver before, handing it to Alec Baldwin. So I'm not sure if they're trying to like take responsibility for it or like what the motive here is. I'm hearing conflicting stories where there's some people that were on the set that are saying like basically, Alec Baldwin was handling things in a very unsafe manner. And there's some people on that set that believe that he is responsible. But then we hear about shit like this where the assistant director's coming out and basically, blaming himself kind of, saying that, oh yeah, I should have checked it before giving it to him. Well, number one, you're assistant director. I don't understand how that's your job. And you had a person dedicated to the safety of the firearms. That girl, I forget her name at the moment, but the
armorer should be doing that.
Yeah, the armorer.
Yeah.
That's her job. Yeah. So how is it your job that you didn't check the gun? Like the armorer should have been doing that shit, not you. First of all, how I see it. But anyway, But I just find it very, very strange. Like the more and more time goes by, we're starting to just discover like just interesting details about this case. And it's not like everything isn't the same. Like you're not hearing the same story across the board. Like I said, people that work on the set are coming out and saying, you know, different things about Alec Baldwin. And then you have people like this that are defending him. And then we're finding out details like, you know, that same gun was used earlier that morning for plinking. So it's like, what the fuck?
But speaking about the whole, plinking thing, I also heard that they were shooting beer cans. So I'm asking, was there alcohol involved?
That's a good point.
That's a good point.
Were they drinking and then shooting too? Because you don't be mixing those two.
Yeah, yeah. You should never be fucking drinking and shooting because that's asking for fucking problems.
Exactly.
However, like, there is a lot of weirdness surrounding this because, what a lot of people aren't talking about and haven't talked about is the fact that when he fired that gun, at no point were they filming, and he did not have a reason to be firing that gun.
Yeah, I heard about that too.
Right. Yeah, that I didn't bring up. That's true. Yeah, they weren't in the process in the middle of shooting like a scene. You know what I mean? So what the fuck?
Yep. Just out of nowhere, he just points and shoots.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like it was on purpose. So there are questions, there's a lot of questions that people are revolving around her and what her husband did. He was a lawyer for, famous people, aka the Clintons.
Yeah, I was going to say politicians.
You can maybe go down that road if you really want to, but it just seems odd that now all of a sudden, like, everybody's trying to take a little bit of the blame, and it's almost like a circular firing. Oh, I did this. I did that. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's just too convenient because
divert things.
Exactly. To confusion, so people can't really make a snap judgment, and you don't hear about the crew walking off the set because of, the gun had gone off two other times during the day. We've covered a lot of this stuff, in a little bit of detail, but there's just a lot of shit that went wrong here. And the fact that the movie's been canceled at this point, it will not be moving forward because I wouldn't trust any of these motherfuckers around another gun again.
Right.
There's no way.
Yeah.
And, there are heavy lawsuits coming now, and I'd love to see what's going to play out on this.
Yeah,
for sure. But I think that's about it, gentlemen, unless you guys have anything else.
No, just Joe Biden for president.
Well, and also just to cover some public service announcements. We had actually talked about bringing back the garbage report in some aspect. You got on that beat last weekend, Ricky, so I kind of wanted to give people a heads up. We are going to still do, if you're interested in gaming and stuff, we're still going to film some episodes of the garbage report, bring that back, because we have been playing some cool games and stuff lately. We don't talk about it on this show because it's not really what we wanted the focus to be, but we'll definitely give you a shout out when those are available if you want to continue to follow along, because it's something we've really enjoyed to do over the years, and I've hung on to all that stuff for that reason.
Yeah. There's been a lot of gaming. I won't get into it too much here, but there's been a lot of game related things going on right now. Issues with games. GTA. Games that are about to come out that are looking very promising. The new Halo, for example. We've been playing that a lot.
I had some fun playing that.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things lately that's been really piquing our interest to start bringing the show back. I mean, there was a time where, there wasn't much going on, and, we felt like we were, coming to the table at the garbage report and didn't have a whole lot to speak about and like be passionate about, because like the games that were out at the time were just garbage. So that's kind of how that got tabled and everything else. But yeah, a lot of things have been happening lately, exciting things. And we want to bring it back. And, there's people that have reached out and asked us, so we're going to do so.
Yeah, faux show. And you'll find those shows too. So once we start recording those, I'm going to put those up actually on YouTube as well, because we do have a YouTube for the garbage report. I got to go through and get the official one just so I can make sure to give it out properly. And this show, Against Insanity, you can find us on YouTube and Rumble as well.
Yes. So check us out on YouTube. Watch the videos. Leave a comment. I would love to see what everyone's saying.
Yeah, word.
Yeah.
Smash that like button like Nick smashes that mattress.
Oh my god.
Love you, brother.
Funny.
Love you, Nick. Don't hate him.
Shit.
All right. Until next weekend. We'll catch you later.
All right. Sounds good.